Welcome back to the Age podcast. I'm Chris Campbell, and as always, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, my handle is at CWC Age, which is the same handle for me on TikTok. I haven't a clue what I'm doing with TikTok, but I'm sure I'll get there with micro learning and learning on learning on YouTube. If you're listening to my podcast is on every good platform, as you will already know because you've downloaded it. But if you haven't, share it with your friends, share it with your work colleagues, share it with people who care and matter to you. The name of that podcast is The Edge, EDGE. I'm absolutely want you to share the madness out of this, because some of these things I'm doing is just randomly off the top of my head. I'm going to be talking about leadership, mentorship, management. But today I want to talk about two words. And them two words are thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why did I say that 3 times? I said it 3 times because I really want you to understand that the importance that them two words have. But I'm going to tell you a story and how them two words have came to my life today. I received 4 thank yous from individuals that I don't know, that I've never met before in my entire life. And to be honest, it kind of put me on a buzz. I was up there when I left. Up there. So this morning I went out and, sorry, not this morning, this afternoon, I travelled to Rugeley to go to our under-8s girls football match. They haven't had a match in 2 weeks, and it's always a bit shaky when you get back to them after 2 weeks off, because they've had a break that they needed through the Halloween, but they also start to get more inquisitive about things, not just the girls but the boys as well. So when we brought them back this afternoon, they were talking about this 6-7. I don't have the time to research what it actually means. If it means any offence to anyone, I absolutely apologise wholeheartedly, because I heard one story that it was the height of a basketball player, and then somebody said blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. I can't get the right answer out of my kids. My eldest is nearly 11, my youngest is 7, and 8. They won't tell me what they think it means, which is a bit strange because it could be a bit dangerous. And they're not sharing with their mums and dads, but hey ho. So we arrived at the football this afternoon and people were doing this, blah, blah, blah. We had no keeper, and we had 3 people out of the team today. So we only had 6 players for a 5-a-side, which was okay. We could manage it. The girls are very resilient. So the group of girls that we have, we've got several players who played up a year last year. They've then come back down into our year to obviously form a proper team for their age group. And absolutely, I mean, all of them are smashing it. I couldn't be more happier as a coach to see the things that we teach them on the training night, and they actually just put them into practice on a game day. And it was absolutely brilliant. Today was no different. They went in and they went from the first whistle. From that very first whistle going, they did not stop. We moved them about every 6 minutes. We changed keepers, so we had a different keeper every 6 minutes, purely just to keep it mixed up, and also to give all the other girls some time out on the pitch, because grassroots football is about getting maximum time on the ball, right? So for us to try and keep that momentum going week in, week out, we have 9 in a squad for a 5-a-side game, which is 40 minutes long. So what we try to do is we, in the first week, we try to get them for 10 minutes game time, and then the next 10 minutes, the next 5 will go on, and then vice versa. But today's thank you, born out of this story I'm going to talk to you about now. So we arrived and the girls went on the football field. They seen their opponents. They had 6 or 7 as well. I think it was only 6 actually. And their coach didn't turn up. So a stand-in, I think it was a parent who stood in to coach them. And do you know what? Hats off to her. She stood up when it mattered most. And do you know, I'll probably have a podcast on something similar where people will stand the gap, and actually do quite well out of it. So I really enjoyed that coach being on the sideline because she was full of positivity. There was no negativity that you get in some coaches, and she did apologise. She said, "Look, I'm not the coach. I've stood in today, and thank you for everything that you're doing for us. We sorted bibs out for them, etc., because they turned up and we were both in the same playing kit. So anyway, fast forward. The game started and the girls went in hard, as you know, hard and I'm not going to say aggressive, but what we've taught them is that football's a contact sport, and they've been taught that since they were 6 years old. We've worked with them for about 7, 8 months, some of them 9, 10 months, and we just want them to understand that sometimes you might get hurt, and it's okay to have a cry. It's okay to fall over and have a cry. If you need the coach, come and get us, or we'll come to you. But for me today, I watched them absolutely dominate the pitch. They were doing every single drill that we asked them to do. So from kickoff, our drill that we have is well, I'm not going to tell you because if you ever come against us, you'll know our drill. But we have loads of set plays that we've practiced with them. We've practiced, practiced, practiced. One of my mantras with them is practice makes better. It doesn't make perfect. So when they started to do that and we saw the goals going in, it got to, you're not really allowed to talk about goals in grassroots football, but I have to explain this story to tell you why it was so important at the end. These two words, thank you. So they got to that four goal advantage. I'll not tell you what the end result is, but they got to a clear 4 goal gap between what your opponents had scored and what you have scored, which means that in grassroots football you can add an extra player to the pitch, not the ones who were winning by them 4 goals, but the team that were not. So they added another player onto the pitch. So they had 6, and we had 5. Not our original goalkeeper. So we were just, the striker was in goal, our wingers were in goal. They were all having a good time. They didn't want to at the start, but we have encouraged them to try different things. And actually, when it matters for the team, just to stand in. And the resilience in some of our girls is absolutely amazing. I'm so pumped right now. And that's why I've still got this on because I'm proud. But I wanted to relay something meaningful on this YouTube video and other media videos. So it was going really well. It got towards the end of the game, and one of the little girls on the other, well, one of our girls who's very, very strong right foot, she struck the ball sweet spot, absolutely perfect. She literally connected with that ball, and I could just see the path of the ball going through and probably going to end up in the top corner. It was definitely going to be for a goal. It was definitely going to be an absolute screamer. But unfortunately, a little girl's face was in the way. She was about 3, 4 meters away from our player when she struck the ball, and it smashed her straight in the head or chest area. I couldn't really see where it hit her, but she hit the ground. Coach was called over. The game was stopped for a minute or two, and the little girl, she got up. She was fine. She had a bit to cry, so she was crying a little bit. And the coach walked her off, and I felt bad because now they're back down to 5 players. The gap has extended even more, and the other girls in their team was a little bit upset. So, I went on and shouted, come on, girls, it's all right. Let's crack on. I want you to work hard. Every team, all teams work hard. So I then left the pitch and I went to the caged area, which was behind us, where the parents stand. And she was sobbing. And obviously her parents were at the other side of this fence, and it's about a 16-foot fence. So I felt bad for her. So I just kind of said to her, tell me what your name is. My name's Chris. What's your name? Trying to calm her down and trying to get her to come back into that football sphere. I asked her what her favourite part of football was, and she told me a little. I couldn't really understand because she was muttering and crying still. But she kind of calmed down a little bit, and I said, listen, your team really needs you. Your team can't play football without you being part of that team. And I would like you, if you're feeling brave enough, to go onto the pitch again. And I'll walk you on. And I know you don't know me, but I want to encourage you to go back onto that field today. And you know what? She did. She didn't take my hand, but I placed my hand at the back of her shoulder and I helped her with the reassurance. And it's so hard when you are coaching young players, um, very young players, especially of the opposite sex, it's really hard for you want to console them. You want to give them that little cuddle and say, it's okay, it's fine, but you can't. You mustn't. It's not right. And definitely not right for a little girl who's not even part of my team, so doesn't know me or I don't know her. But what I wanted to do was try to reassure her that it was safe for her to go back on the pitch. The atmosphere was safe. My girls didn't mean anything of it. They were having a strike at the goal. It would be the same if they were striking and our girls' heads were in the way. She said she felt fine. She wasn't dizzy or anything, and she wanted to go back on the pitch. So I escorted her back onto the pitch and helped her get on. I made the referee stop the play, and we all clapped her back on. So she went on. Everything was fine. Fast forward, probably about 8 or 9 minutes, nearly getting towards the end of the game, and the ball went out directly where I was. Did I see it went out and it was our kick in? Yes. The referee blew for our kick in. And I said, no, it's a red kick in. And the ref said, no, it's a yellow kick in. I went, no, definitely. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's definitely a red kick in. At this stage, there was a lot of goals between us winning and obviously them losing. There was only a minute or two left on the clock, and I thought, come on, stop arguing. I'm giving them the ball. I want them to have a bit of a set piece so they can at least try and claw back and get another goal. So it happened. I put the ball in front of this little girl. I don't know her name, but she was absolutely so brave. And I said to her, listen, I know I'm not your coach, but what I want you to do, when I say go, I want you to run straight towards that goal. And I don't want you to let anyone take that ball off you. And I want you to score a goal. She did it. I said, go. Now, what helped her was my lot, because I was talking to her, had their backs turned and weren't watching the play. So secretly, I knew that they were going, da, 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 da. So I give her the ball. I put it on the line, on the red line. She stood up. I says, take a deep breath. She took a deep breath. And I just had a quick glance over my shoulder and I seen that my girls weren't in positions. They weren't marking anyone. I said, go, go. And this little girl ran through three of my players. She actually megged one of the players as she went through and she scored a goal. I was so happy. Now, should a coach be happy of another team scoring a goal against them? Probably not. Should a coach who's in grassroots football, who understands the joy that young girls get? Yes, absolutely. I ran onto the pitch. I'm not her coach. My girl seen me run onto the pitch and saw me high five her to say that was a great goal. Did I do that to piss off? Whoops, sorry. Did I do that to annoy my girls? No. Did I speak to my girls after it to show what I did? Absolutely. Even one of the girls said they only scored that goal because you distracted us and you helped them. But I spoke to our team members and said, listen, we won today because we played a really good game. But they're going to feel more like champions now. And I want them to come back and play football every single week. I want them to go to their training. I want them to understand what they need to do. And I want them to get better every single week. And that moment for me changed because I felt there's no way that could have happened. There's no way I could have made that girl score a goal. That girl doesn't know me. I've never coached her. I've never talked about set drills. I just said, I believe in you. I want you to run towards that goal and I want you to score a goal. And she said, yeah. And she did it. Fantastic. A moment later, the final whistle went and the round of applause for both teams from both sides' parents was exhilarating. The girls went over and they were high five and we then lined up and we did the three cheers for each other. Our team started first because we were drawn as the home team. And then their team equally set it back. Was any players, now it was a big defeat, was any players crying on that opposite team? No. Was any players on my team gloating and shouting the score and saying, I scored 5 and then it? No. because we've built into our team dynamic discipline, the discipline of winning and losing. We have won some and we've lost some. But every time we go onto that pitch and we come off that pitch, we talk about how we felt, how we enjoyed that game, how did we think the game went, if we could improve anything, what could we do? And do you know what? The majority of the time we get information back from the girls to say, well, maybe I could have ran a little bit more up that wing, or maybe I could have put that 1-2 pass in. Fantastic. But we've also taught them to be humble when they win. Don't be gloating. Go around and celebrate with your teammates. But when it comes time to coming back to that centre line, to doing that high fives and the 3 cheers for the other team, that is so important. That is so important. It's reflecting on a victory, a journey that you've been through, but it's also for the other girls to reflect on the journey that they've been through, whether they win or they lose. And the 2 words thank you didn't, well, they came quite a lot. I think it was about 4 or 5 different people come up to us as a team. The referee came over and said thank you, one to me and the coach. And we always thank the referee. We always give them a high five or a handshake if they're willing to do it. And some of them are quite young, so some of them are quite awkward. If they don't want a handshake, we won't bother. The other coach, I wanted to cuddle her. I wanted to tell her how well she had done stepping into the breach and running a team, especially against our little team that literally they were on fire today. I did apologise halfway through the match to her, saying I'm so sorry, but I can't tell the girls not to shoot because that's in their nature. They want to go in, they want to showcase, and she said it was absolutely fine. You know, it's just one of those games. So fast forward a couple of minutes. We've done our team talks at the end, you know, separate. The other team went off and did theirs. We did ours. We made sure all the parents were there. We were walking off the field, and a parent was stood at the other side. And you automatically think, what have I done wrong? Did I say something during that? Did I swear? Did I say a bad word? You automatically think the worst. When you're a grassroots coach, you think, uh-oh, here we go. Or the thrashing that we give them, they're going to come up and go, you know, you cheated, or who do you think you are beating a team by that many goals, etc. That didn't happen. I'll tell you what happened. That adult, that other grown man, reached his hand out to me and he shook my hand and said, thank you. And I kind of, the manager was behind me. And I kind of was stopped in my tracks. I had my little girl, you know, I had my hand on, I was holding her hand. And she was looking up and she says, why did they say thank you, Dad? And the other little girl's dad went on to say, we've been playing so many teams in this league, and even when they've been beating us, they've been nasty, or they haven't done and displayed what true football and coaching is to what you and your manager did today. I was gobsmacked, absolutely gobsmacked. One, I was kind of ashamed that there's other coaches out there that don't just see the love of the game for their people to be enjoying themselves, for their little girls or boys just to go on the pitch and play football. Two, you've got these elitist coaches who go on to win. You will win. If you come off, you're not playing again. I've seen coaches that just sit people on the bench and they sit there the whole game. Wow. Why would you even do that? Play your worst players. Play your best players. Mix them up, because some of them will complement somebody else. But I have seen the nasty side of football. I have seen coaches being in your face. 3 years ago, I had a stand-up argument on the middle of the pitch. I was absolutely right with what I was talking about, but they all ganged up and thought they were big and hard. But I just thought, you're sad. This is, at the time, it was under 8s football. I thought, really? This is under 8s, and my retort to them was, this is under 8s football. You want to get a grip of yourself and actually get a grip of them boys, because if they go round fouling people all the time as they had done that whole match, I'll never want to play them again. And I'll make sure that everybody else who's a decent standard of teams won't want to play them again. It was quite sad. And then another gentleman came up to me and shook my hand and says, I just wanted to come over and say thank you for how you guys looked after our team. We weren't the best out there today, but you saw that and, you helped them and you helped that little girl score her first goal in that match. And then another gentleman come over as I was trying to walk to my car. I was getting a bit embarrassed because my manager behind me was going, "Woo, all right, Chris. Yeah, really well done, Chris." And he was only having a laugh. But I just thought, wow, these guys, all I did was what a coach should do. Help a player. Help an upset player or somebody who was maybe a little bit off today and just encourage them to play the sport. Now, it doesn't matter what sport it is, but I got such a buzz out of that. And I just wanted to share it. I just wanted to get it out there. I'm not sharing it because I want to gloat and say, oh, look at me. I got to thank you today. But what I do want to do is I want to speak to other coaches that are out there that are doing grassroots and actually think, do you know what? Sometimes people will be saying thank you. You just won't hear it. You just won't hear it all the time because you'll be busy in the array of dealing with your boys or your girls or the mixed team that you've got, and you'll be dealing with how, making sure they get to their parents, making sure that you've collected your balls and your bibs and your water bottles, making sure little Johnny has got his top that he keeps forgetting. And sometimes other parents they'll wait to say thank you, and maybe they just can't wait any longer and they'll disappear. But take it from me, there's people out there that will say thank you. And when you hear them words from a total stranger or a group of total strangers, it will blow your mind. I thought about it the journey home and chatting to my little one as I do. We always have a positive chat in the car after football, whether we win or lose. We always chat positive because I do think about the positivity and the after-match review should be positive. You shouldn't be negative. You encourage children at that age to try things and try new things. You encourage them to strike with their left foot when they're absolutely a right-footed person. We've got girls now that are hitting the ball with all feet, both feet. I don't know why I said all feet, with both feet. And the difference it's made for them to be able to feel and to grow and learn and to talk about it and to have a laugh about it. I know we have a laugh. They'll hit the ball with their left foot and it will go off like a rocket, and we'll pick them up. We'll go, where did that go? What happened? I tell you what happened. You tried something new. Don't stop trying something new. But them words, thank you, powerful, absolutely powerful. If I was at rock bottom and I didn't want to do football anymore, today definitely would have been a day that I would have went, do you know what? I want to do football. I want to be a coach. I want to be a leader in that sport, and I want to help people grow. I want to mentor people. I want to coach them on the football. You would absolutely be buzzing. I would be so interested in hearing some of your comments for the last time that somebody that you didn't know or somebody at work said thank you to you, because it is powerful. It is absolutely out of this world, them words. And I use them at work. I will do a lot of internal projects and a lot of change and a lot of things that I'm asking people to do that's not their normal daily work. I'm asking them to go above and beyond to try different things inside the workplace. And I always go back and say thank you. I always go back and say, I thank you, thank you for your time. Thanks for trying something new. It wasn't for us. It didn't work out. But actually, we've tried it and we can discount it now. So the lesson this week for anyone that's listening is, one, I want you to subscribe to my podcast. That's the first thing. Two, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because videos like this is only going to get better. I had to buy bookends from my bookshelves because all my books were just lying all higgledy-piggledy all over the shelves. I've now sorted it out and it looks quite neat. Some of my leadership books and stuff that I like to read. I have gone a lot digital now, so I do have a lot of digital books, but I still like to flick through the pages once and again. I think I'm at the third thing. The third thing is I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This channel, it will only get better. Trust me, I've now, growing a little bit of an audience. I've got some subscribers. My YouTube has been watched over 1,600 times. I think I only made it about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, which is really, really good for me. I've nearly at 750 downloads on my podcast through buzzsprout.com. So if you do listen to my podcast, please go back out. I'm going to play on my this. This is my new Rodecaster Duo. I don't know what it is. It's a digital audio interface. DAI. I'm probably going to be told off by Rode for this. I bought this. I did reach out and asked anyone if they wanted to sponsor me and to help me grow my audience and grow my audio. Get my audio to be a lot crisper and a lot better. Nobody came back to me. Surprise! I'm no good at marketing, but I bought this, and it's absolutely amazing. This thing, I plugged it in today for the first time. It arrived. It arrived yesterday, and I've been itching to get it on. And this is the very first podcast that I've done and YouTube channel with this contraption, whatever it may be. I hope people can get in the comments and say, Chris, this is what it is. This is what you need to do. I have been watching podcast after podcast. Sorry, I've been watching YouTube after YouTube on how to use this thing. I've uploaded my music into it. So these two buttons are my intro and outro, which I think is mega. I'm just going to play one clip for you now. There's my outro. I'm just going to fade that down while I continue talking to you because I think we've got to the end. The power of thank you. Please never underestimate how somebody will feel deep inside. Just be you saying thank you. So please come back for more. I aim to get better at what I'm doing. I aim to engage more with you, my community. I want you to reach out to me. I want you to give me comments on my videos. How do I make them better? My lighting is awful, absolutely awful. It will get better over time. I'm starting on a budget. But listen, thank you. Thanks for following me. Thanks for giving me your time because I know your time is precious. It all is. And I will have a podcast coming soon where I will talk about how to use your time better. So just from me, take it easy. Remember those words, thank you. Maybe put them into your vocabulary and get it out there to some of your employees or some of your coaching team or some of the children that you do coach. Keep your edge.